get into a little bit more detail with you here this morning. So, 2.5 million illegal immigrants have been apprehended since Biden took office. Almost all of them have been released. Since President Joe Biden was sworn into office, January 2021, I'll say this again, more than 2.5 million illegal immigrants have been apprehended at the southern border, the greatest unchallenged influx of illegal immigrants in this country's history. More people are coming to the border with promises of a life of grandeur, and they're doing anything and everything to get here. Of those, just 167,392 were deemed inadmissible or expelled due to health concerns. So 2.5 million illegals apprehended. 167,000 of those, do the math, that's like less than 2%, have been sent back in because they were too sick to get in here. They had either COVID or something else. 167,000 said no. 2.5 million, yes. Just 20,146 illegal immigrants are currently being detained. 136,725 have been released in the fiscal year 2022. 85 plus thousand were given orders to recognize, which means they got to come back, which they never will. 38,000 were paroled out. Besides that, ICE reports that the alternatives to detention, ADT, currently number is 191,000. So point is, in addition, again, in 2021, there were just 59,000 removals. In the latest annual report, 68% decrease from the fiscal year 2020. 2.5 million illegal immigrants were caught at the border. Only 167,392 were turned away. The rest are here. Let that sink in for a second. So 2.33 million people that they apprehended and let go are here. So we talk about that word, 2 million illegals have already came here during Biden's administration. It's probably much more than that. It's probably much more than that. Now, of these folks who are here, many of them are indentured slaves and victims of human trafficking. Maybe they paid Mexican drug cartels to get into the country. Once here, they are obliged to keep paying protection money, many of them sex slaves, many of them let out to do what it is that they do, only to return to a pseudo cell, a jail cell, every single day. It's happening in America right now. Now, in the year 2000, the CIA estimated that as many as 50,000 women and children were smuggled into the U.S. 50,000. Now, if you just do the math and say 50,000 a year, since 2020, you're talking 2.5 million people, right? I mean, it's probably much more than that are technically slaves in some capacity here in this country. By opening the border, Biden is accommodating crimes against humanity. He wants his progressive friends to think he's magnanimous and doing a wonderful thing. Oh, look, I'm giving people who have no life a chance for a life. Yet what you're really doing is you're giving people who have no life essentially either a death sentence to come here, or you're relegating many of them to a life of sexual slaves, or at the whims and the behests of just terrible human beings who essentially will lock them away to do their bidding. Now, Trump dealt with this problem by threatening Mexico with massive tariffs. And he also threatened that he would actually put our troops on their side of the border to stop the influence. How many people, guys, these are my friends on the left, my progressive friends on the left. I've asked this question of you before, I never get an answer. How many people is enough? Like, what's the right number of folks here in this country before the ship that we're already leaking starts to sink? What is the number? What makes our progressive friends happy? What influx of folks from the Mexican southern, the southern peninsulas makes the United States a more desirable overall place for the woke community? Like, what is it about folks coming across? Is it, just the influx of folks who are less fortunate? Is it, what is it? What is it about the people that are coming across? Is it, the thought of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? That can't be it, because you don't even believe in that, right? My progressive friends don't believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You believe in life and some sort of socialistic, share everything mindset. I don't believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You don't believe what's on the Statue of Liberty, do you? Come on. You don't believe in liberty? You don't believe in freedom? You don't believe in the Constitution as it's written, or the Declaration of Independence? You don't believe any of that. So you believe it's a living, breathing, manipulative type of a document. So what is it about folks coming across the southern border? Are you just hell-bent on having your quality of life diminished? It's just the way it is. When you have too many people and you can't support those folks, your quality of life goes down. Your standard of living begins to falter. The nice things that you have go away. We're getting the beginnings of that with this brutal inflation that we're all feeling right now. If you don't feel this inflation right now, God bless you, because you're wealthy. I'm serious about that. You're either wealthy or you're completely on government assistance if you're not feeling the pinch of this inflation. And it's not a pinch, it's a punch. Right? You go to the store and things are literally twice as expensive as they were 3 months ago, 4 months ago. This president has talked about shortages of food. Right? Now, we're all trying to live our regular life. Right? You're probably still going to a restaurant a couple times, but you've cut back. Right? You're digging into savings. At the end of the week, there's nothing in your pocket. There's no more discretionary income. It's gone. And this is just the beginning. This president is warning that it's going to get worse. So I ask my friends, my progressive friends, what is it about the influx of massive amounts of undocumented folks through the southern border that swells your heart? Is it? Well, it can't be because you are applauding their thirst for freedom, because you don't even believe in that. You were all too willing to give up your freedom for a little bit of security with the masks and the mandates and the stay-at-home policies. You don't like entrepreneurs. You don't like capitalism. You don't like the idea you make your life out of what you make your life. You're more in tune with that communal sort of society. That's just the truth. You know that. You know it. Maybe you don't want to say it. You shy away from it at parties. But it's true. So what is it about folks coming from the southern border that swells your heart? Why is it so important to just let the doors of our southern border, leave them wide open so folks can come in? Is it just changing the demographic of the country? Is that the most important thing to you? Breaking the culture that exists now, eroding it until it no longer exists? Is it simply about voting and making sure that a more progressive mindset is what's here and what's here to stay? I think maybe that's something you need to think about. Why is it so important to you? Because it's not about freedom. And I just told you it's not about doing the right thing when women and children are being raped on the way. It's not that. Right? You don't think that's okay. I hope not. What is it? All right. Let me take our first break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll come back in just a couple of minutes. Bob Lazari will join me. We'll talk about the world of sports at about 6:50-ish or so. He'll be my first guest.
I've got a whole lot more to say. Roy just crossed the floor, picked up his car keys.